Go to cloud.
Yes, yes, now it's working.
Yeah. My daughter helped me here. I'm a bit, told you, when it comes to those things, I'm gonna go.
Yes.
Sorry.
No, that's fine. But you can also tell people, listen, the numbers I've given you are very nice things, because you can send them these two ways to connect, but also if you ever want, you can just give them the number. So your number for this to be able to enter is 2233445572. It's on the WhatsApp.
Okay.
But it's easy to remember. I'm saying it's easy. 2233445572. Fine. I'm just trying to see now. What? Yes. Now hold on 1 second. You're not coming through on Zoom. Is your microphone covered? No, but you can't. I can't hear you.
Now can you hear me?
Give me 1 second. I'm just making this softer. Hold on. Can you hear me? Okay, so your mic, I can hear you now, but your microphone's covered. Yeah. I can't hear you. I can hear you from the phone, not from Zoom. No, but I'm saying I can hear you. I can't hear you through Zoom. I can't hear you through the program. I can't hear you. I can hear you through WhatsApp, not Zoom. Just let me switch this off and see if it makes a difference. If not, then I'll phone you. Hold on. Okay, Rov, now let's try. Right? Fine, I can hear you.
I hardly can hear you.
No, I can hear you now.
But I hardly can hear you for some reason.
So pick up the volume on your phone. Treat this as a normal phone call and pick up the volume. You've just switched off your microphone and your camera.
Okay, and now?
Yeah, now I've got you back. I've got your microphone.
Okay.
And I don't have your camera.
Now the camera is recording, am I right?
Yes, perfect.
Okay, so let's start in the Gemara Masechet Baba Kama. That's the shiur that you missed, am I right?
Yes, fine. But Rova, I'm a bit tight on time. I've only got now 25 minutes. Is that okay?
Let's see what we can do. I'll try and squeeze it.
Okay.
But are you there? Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm here.
And page 60, folio 2. Okay,
Right.
so look there. It says, Tanu Rabbanan, Dever Ba'ir. Can you see it?
Hold on 1 second. Sorry, I need to go to that shiur. Sorry. Sorry, I didn't understand. Okay, got it?
Okay, Tanu Rabbanan. Gemara Masechet Baba Kama, page 60, folio 2. Hazal tell us. Let's see what Hazal told us 2,500 years ago, how a person should react. What should he do in a time that there is a plague? And I think that it's applicable to what we have today.
Right.
So Hazal say like this, Tanu Rabbanan, Dever Ba'ir, Kanes Raglecha. That means, Dever Ba'ir, it's a plague, Magefa.
Yes.
Kanes Raglecha. That means, get to your home, stay at home. שנאמר, ואתם לא תצאו איש מפתח ביתו עד בוקר. ואומר, לך עמי, בוא בחדריך, וסגור דלתך בעדיך, ואומר, מחוץ תשקל חרב, ומחדרים אימה. Here Hazal tell us in the Gemara something very interesting. In a time that there is danger of plague, and there is a virus running around, what you should do, get into your home, okay? Close your door and stay at home. Stay in your own room. Don't go anywhere. You have nowhere to go. Stay at home. Why?
Sure.
Hazal tell us, חוץ תשתכל חרב ומחדרים מאימה. It's outside, there is a disease, there is a plague. I want you to stay at home. I don't want you to now start walking in the middle of the street. I'm going to skip a little bit. And then it says like this, ומאי, ואומר, וכי תימה, הנימי לי, בלילה, אבל בימה, לא. אומר, maybe you can say, listen, maybe during the day I can be outside. I can go, I can walk around, I can do whatever I want. He said, no. I'm telling you specifically that during the day and during the night, you're not allowed to leave your house. Stay at home.
Okay.
He said, how do we learn that? That it means also for the day and for the night. Tashma, bo, come in here. Lech ami, bo behadarecha. That's mean, my nation, please, come inside your room. Vizgol daltecha. That's mean, go into your house, lock the door, and stay at home. He didn't say specifically day, he didn't say specifically night, he didn't say, Hazal didn't give us, the prophet didn't give us, the prophet Yeshaya, by the way, said that prophecy in chapter 26. So Hazal said the prophets didn't tell us, listen, during the day you can go outside, during the night you must be at home. He said that during the day and during the night, you should stay at home. From that he didn't give a specific time, we have to learn that when there is a plague, when there is a virus, stay at home, don't leave the house.
Can I ask a
Then
question?
the Gemara continues. Sure.
Has this ever happened before?
Number of times. Numerous times. Numerous times.
I'm bringing the English
Hazal
class onto the screen.
Sorry?
I'm going to bring the English now onto the screen for us.
Okay, please.
Just give me 1 second, but you can carry on.
Okay, I'm going to continue now. Go to Shtashma. מחוץ תשקל חרב ומחדרים אימה. אף על גב דמחדרים אימה, מחוץ תשקל חרב. Here Hazal tell us something very interesting. Hazal tell us that in a time that there is danger, okay, you go into the house. What it means? Mehadarim eima, that means outside there is a sword, that means the plague, but from the inside eima, eima is a fear. So Hazal tell us something very interesting. Hazal tell us a story. It's actually a midrash that Hazal tell us that happened. That one of the sages saw Malach HaMavet coming to the city, the angel of death. And he said to him, how many people are you planning to take? He said 5,000. Okay.
5,000.
5,000 human beings. 5,000 life.
And 15,000 died.
And he took, when he left the city, that sage saw him, exactly. And he saw that he took 15,000. Why?
Because the other 10,000 died because they were in fear.
That's it. What does it mean, fear? What does it mean, fear? Exactly. That means that people have to understand that they mustn't worry so much. HaKadosh Baruch Hu told us to do certain things we must do. More than that, we cannot do. So Hazal come and tell us, listen, in a situation like this, it's no use to start thinking, to worry too much. You have to do what you have to do, but don't over stress. When you over stress, Hazal tell us that can lead us, Haz v'shalom, to a dangerous situation. But the Rambam says something very interesting. Listen to what the Rambam say. The Rambam say that the person not allowed to worry about everything except one thing. You know what is he allowed to worry? Why is he worried? Because when you worried, you show no faith in HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Everything is in the hand of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Certain thing you have to do ishtadlut. By that you go into your house and you put your house and you close yourself. That's all you can do. More than that, you cannot able to do. So Hazal says something very interesting. In a case like this, when you're at home, more than that you can't do. So don't worry so much. What's happening if I do that? What's happening if I do X? What if I do what? Don't worry about it. HaKadosh Baruch Hu told us in this time of dire strait, go home, lock your door, stay there. I don't want you to do anything anymore. So from here we learn that in a time of dire strait, people mustn't worry too much. Because when you start worrying, that means that your emunah getting weak, very, very weak. Let's continue and say what Hazal continue and say about it. Tanu Rabbanan, דבר בעיר, אל יהלך אדם באמצע הדרך, מפני שמלאך המוות מהלך באמצע הדרכים. Hazal tell us that in a time of a plague, that there is virus, a person shouldn't go on the middle of the street. That means, Hazal tell us, when there is virus, don't walk on a street. Why? Because Malach HaMavet, the angel of death, is walking. Now he have a permission, lo alenu, to do whatever he have to do. Continue the Gemara, Bekevan de Yehav le Reshuta, Mesage lehedia. That means, now the Malach HaMavet have a permission to kill. So Hazal say, what should we do if we need to go outside? What can we do? So the Gemara continues, Shalom ba'ir al ya'alech adam betzidei adrachim, bekevan delet lereshuta mahbe, havuye umisage umazge. That means that in a time that there is no plague, what you should do, don't walk on the side of the street. There is a wide street, walk on the middle. There is a wide road, walk on the middle. In the time of the plague, walk on the side. Why is that? As I'll explain.
Walk in the middle, not on the side.
That if you have to leave the house, sorry?
You said walk on the
Say
side.
again?
You said walk on the side. It's walk in the middle.
Yeah, on the side of the road. No, don't walk on the middle of the road. Exactly. When there
you're
is
saying
a plague,
you must walk on the side of the road.
If there is a plague in a town, that's it. If there is a plague. But when there is no plague, you should not walk on the side of the road. Why? Because that HaKadosh Baruch Hu didn't give a permission to the angel of death to do what he has to do. So Hazal come and say, in a time of a plague, walk on the side of the road so he doesn't see you. Because if you need to go outside, walk on the side of the road, do whatever to do. You need to buy whatever you have to buy, come home and lock yourself. But in a time that there is no plague outside, don't walk on the side of the road, walk on the middle. Why? Because the angel of death didn't get a permission to walk on the middle of the road. So therefore, you shouldn't walk on the side that, God forbid, you're going to tackle with him. So is that thing that we read now, is that applicable for us? From what we see, Baruch Hashem, we see that Hazal tell us 2,500 years ago, exactly what we see today, that all the medical people, everything fit with us. Let's continue. Tanu Rabbanan, Dever Ba'ir, Al Yikanes Adam Yahid Lebet HaKnesset. That if there is a plague in town, Hazal tell us, don't enter alone to the shul. Why? Listen what he said. Shemalach HaMavet mafkid sham kelav. Which means that the angel of death put his vessel, his ammunition there. Listen what he said, continue. Okay? It says, where is it? Vehanimili, dehecha, velo karu be dardake, velo matzlu be asara. That means, Hazal tell us, what we're talking about is a shul that there is no little kids that studying there. That means Tinokot Shel Bet Rabban that study there, or a shul that there is no 10 people there permanently. And I'll tell you a story that happened in Syria. In Syria was a Jewish community, and the head of the community was a big rabbi, a Kabbalistic rabbi. And what happened? The congregation one day came to him and said, you know, there's a plague in a city, and what should we do? And the plague gone worse and worse and worse, and the rabbi was his name, Arav Antabi. Arav Antabi said like this to them. He said to the Shamash, to his servant, he said to him, I'm going to write you a letter. And he wrote him a letter. And he said, that letter tonight, after midnight, I want you to give it to the angel of death. And he said to him, I want you to hide inside the teva. The teva is where the Hazan stand, and he daven. The Shamash was so worried. The rabbi saw that. He said, you have nothing to worry. I'm going to write you a kamiyah. Kamiyah is an element to protect him. And the Shamash sat there and he waiting, and at midnight he started hearing strange voices, and he saw through the gap between the two doors strange creatures. Anyway, he managed to have a string, and he suddenly opened the door, and the angel of death and all of his demons saw that, got so frightened, so shocked, and he said, listen, I got a letter here from Arav Antabi. Everyone stood up because as they hear the name. And he said, I don't know, I'm just a messenger. Here's the letter. Okay, he given it to the angel of death, and he read it. And he said to all of his demons, we have to leave the town, and they left. So from here, we learn something very extraordinary. In the time that there is plague in town, be careful going to shul. Why? Because the angel of death, that's where he hide, that's where he stay. So is that fit with what the new instruction that we get not to daven in shul? You
Yes.
understand where it come?
Yes.
Let's continue. Interesting, huh? How's it fitting
Amazing.
with what's
Unbelievable.
happening today?
Unbelievable.
Hazal continue. Look at the prophecy that Hazal said. Tanu Rabbanan, Klavim bochim, malach hamavet bala'ir. When you hear that the dogs crying, yelling, you must understand one thing. Angel of death came to town. Hazal continue and say, Klavim mesahakim, malach hamavet, Klavim mesahakim, Eliyahu hanavi bala'ir. That means when you hear the dog yelling, that means the angel of death in town. But if you hear the dog playing, barking, having a good time, Eliyahu Hanavi came to town. The Gemara continue and explain. What does it mean? If you hear that the dog yelling, it's only in one condition, that only if there is not a female dog. Because if there is a female dog, you know, the dog usually get very excited, there is female around. So in that case, that doesn't mean that the angel of death came to town. When does it mean when the dog yelling, the angel of death coming to town? Only in one situation, when there is no female around. But if there is female around, okay, that means that the angel of death didn't come to town. But from the other way, Hazal tell us, if you see the dog playing around in the street or on a garden, you see them barking and having a good time, they're not frightened, they're not yelling, you must understand Eliyahu Hanavi came to town. That means that here Hazal tell us something very interesting. Hazal tell us that if we summarize, Hazal tell us like this: if there is a plague in town, like at the moment there is in the world a plague, a virus that kill thousands of people, hundreds of thousands dead. What is the best thing? Go to your house, lock your door, and stay there. What's happened if you need to go outside? If you need to buy, because there is a plague, the permission is to walk on the side of the road, not on the middle. That means go quick, do your shopping and come home. And try not to be in the center of the road. Why? Because HaKadosh Baruch Hu given a permission to the angel of death now. And he's in control. So try to avoid him. Walk on the side of the street. But in the time that there is no plague in the world, walk in the middle of the street. Why? Because he's not allowed to walk on the middle of the street. But in that time, also avoid from walking on the side of the street, because he's not allowed to walk. And I say he's, the angel of death, not allowed to walk on the middle of the street, so he walk on the side. So there you have to be careful of walking. Then Hazal continue and tell us that a person should not go to shul alone. Why? Because in the time of the plague, the angel of death and his soldiers, that means the demon, okay, where did they hide? Where did they put all of?
Rov, hold on 1 second. I've got something urgent in the house. Rov, hold on. Something's going on with the baby. Hold on.
Okay.
Oh, sorry, the kids were crying quite badly.
Nah, that's no problem. You should put Natan and Raphael sit with you. Then they will never cry. They listen to the Torah.
Anyway, no, he fell
so
there with Aaron and Malasot.
Okay. No, as long that everyone okay.
All good, sorry.
Anyway, Baruch Hashem. So Hazal tell us in a time that there is a plague in the town, don't go to shul.
Right.
Why? Because the angel of death and his soldier, they put all the ammunition, they put all their stuff where they're hiding in the shul, they're keeping it in the shul. And it's a danger for us to go to shul. Then Hazal tell us, how do you can recognize when is the angel of death in the town and when is not? So Hazal tell, if you're listening to the dog yelling and crying and there is no female around them, you have to be careful. Then you know that the angel of death came to town. But from the other way, if you see the dog running and playing and having a good time and barking, you know that Eliyahu Hanavi came to town. So from here, we learn something very interesting. In a time of danger like we are now, that there is such a dangerous virus, we have to be very careful. Hazal tell us, number one, stay at home. Number two, if you need to go outside for shopping, it's not the time now to go in the middle of the road, to sit, to have a coffee, to go to shopping center. That's not the time. The time now, it's to go and what?
To stay home.
Go back home and lock yourself. That's it. Absolutely. And another thing, don't go to shul. It's danger. It's a danger to go to shul. Yes.
Have your dogs been barking?
Say again, Liron. What did you want to ask?
Your dogs, have they been barking?
My dog all the time bark. Yeah.
No, but more than
my dog.
No, I'm saying, is your dog barking more?
Not more.
Yeah. No, we've got a female next door. So
not at all. The same.
Yes.
You see, that's the difference. That's the difference.
Yes.
So he can smell.
Yes.
You understand? The dog can smell it. There's a special smell. So we can tell. So from here, we learn something very interesting about what Hazal teaches. Hazal teaches in a time of the plague, it's the time to stay at home. As Hazal tell us, Havik adi avor za'am. You must wait until the danger will pass. Once that the danger is past, then you can leave your house, then you can walk on the middle of the street, then you can go back to shul. Life is normal. But in a time like this, it's time to stay at home, time to look after yourself, time to be careful. Why? Because the world is in danger. There is a plague. And that's what we're learning from the Gemara Masechet Baba Kama. Hazal 2,500 years ago told us that to teach us what to do in a situation. So if we look at what's happening today, I think that the situation is exactly the same what we're seeing today. What the authority tell us to do. Number one, to stay at home. Number two, in a dangerous time, don't walk in the middle of the street. The angel of death is there. Try to avoid them. If you need to go outside, go quick, fetch everything, and come back home and lock yourself. That means walk on the side of the road, buy the necessary thing, and lock yourself. Number three, in a time like this, it's not time to be in public places. It's not time to play game. Shut yourself at home. And number four, it's not time to go to shul. Even shul at the moment, and that besides time, you have to be careful.
Sure.
How much is applicable to our time? While I'm talking to you, because we finished now, would you mind taking that recording? I think that we need to...
You have to stop.
I'm going to look now, and
you have to do the recording your side.
Okay. I'm looking now. I'm pressing recording. Stop video. Okay, now we stopped. Can you see?
No, it's still recording.
Recording. Is it?
Your video is stopped, but it's still recording.
Wow. So, okay, 1 second. Yes, I'm looking here.